So if you're like me, you've been looking for a fully waterproof, insulated, good outsole, kind of hiking adventure boot for a long time. And honestly, I think I've found at least one of my favorites that I've used in this kind of category, and that's going to be the Salomon Outblast THINSULATE CLIMASALOMON boot. Stay tuned. So, per Salomon's website, the full name of this guy is the Outblast THINSULATE CLIMASALOMON waterproof boot. And this is the kind of winterized version of their Outblast boot, which I believe is pretty new. And I've never had that version. I just needed a waterproof, insulated, warm hiking boot. Nothing crazy, because I have warmer, like Sorel kind of boots that if I know I'm going to be in really cold weather or really deep snow, I'll use typically. But for everything else, this is the guy that I decided on. So we're going to talk about it. I've been using it for about 2 weeks now, consistently through the winter, beginning in Colorado and then coming up here. I'm in my family's hunting cabin right now up in northern Wisconsin, and I wanted to bring these along to test and kind of try out. I haven't hunted in them. I use my really warm hunting boots for that, because that's not what these are intended for, just sitting in a stand when it's like 15 degrees out for however many hours. I didn't want to do that with these, but I have been using them pretty much everywhere else, and it's been kind of cold here, good snow, good wet snow. I've been testing them, and they've done, I'll tell you guys right off the bat, they've done extremely well. That is come to be expected from Salomon. They're some of my favorite boots I've ever worn, and this guy definitely is no different. So we're going to talk about the key features, kind of go over some specs, and then I'll give you guys my full opinion on it. So right off the bat, you guys can see that it is a very slim, athletic kind of hiking boot, very lightweight. You have a mesh upper with some kind of molded pieces on the sides here. I'll show you guys. So they say lightweight durability, and I can't really attest to the full length durability, as I've only had them for about a month fully and been using them for about 2 to 3 weeks. But everything that I have in Salomon does a really good job. So I'll probably do a follow-up review just to make sure that they're staying true to that durability from them. And then on the website, it says a slim athletic style. I definitely think that that is true. This is not your typical big, bulky Salomon or any kind of winter hiking boot. They have the Quest 4D that I have. This is much thinner, much more agile, and I think a better option for kind of everyday wear, because this looks good too. I mean, I'll show you guys some clips. I'm wearing it out and it looks good. This is the burnt olive and phantom black combination. They also have an all black. It does, I skipped over this already, it does come in at $150, which I think for an insulated boot, fully waterproof, and then Salomon's normal kind of durability and attention to detail, I think is a pretty fair price. I do get Salomon Pro deals, so I did not pay the full price, but I probably would. Honestly, I've been looking for a boot like this for a long time, and I think this fits the bill. They do come in at 400 grams, which is pretty light for a fully waterproof, insulated boot of this style. And then they do have a 9mm drop, which is pretty standard for the industry on a hiking boot like this. The outsole here is going to be Salomon's Contra Grip outsole, which is a super, super aggressive, very well patterned. They use this kind of Contra Grip on all their trail running shoes that I use. The Quest 4D line. The Contra Grip is one of my favorite outsoles to date that I've used on any of my footwear. It is very durable. I had the Sense Ride 3s from them that lasted me like 2 years on the outsole. Now I just retired them for everyday use, and they're still going strong. It is not their specific winter outsole, it's just the Contra Grip, which does extremely well in ice and snow. I've you know, I haven't, obviously on ice, no outsole is really going to save you, but it does extremely well. On the waterproofing on the boot is Salomon's CLIMASALOMON waterproof. I honestly have not had any experience with this. I've had experience with Gore-Tex and Event. I haven't had any experience with it. My feet have stayed perfectly dry and I've had no complaints. So up until now, the waterproofing is doing exactly what it's supposed to, and we did have some wet, slushy days here as well. Waterproofing is going good. Can't complain about that. That'll probably be something in the follow-up, the full follow-up review down the line with durability that I will touch on. But for now, great waterproofing. And then this is kind of what sold me, obviously, on the winter boot is going to be a 200-gram THINSULATE insulation. I love THINSULATE insulation. My hunting boots are 1,200 gram. That's why I use those for that kind of long, cold sit. But 200 grams, when you're going to be moving in this boot, so you don't need that crazy insulation. I think it's a perfect blend. I think 200 grams is perfect. My feet have stayed extremely warm in these. I pair them with a nice pair of smart wool socks and then go out in that 200 gram. And then you also have a faux fur lining here, which just kind of comforts your foot even more. So that's just Salomon's faux fur lining there, and that honestly feels extremely good. When you put your foot in there, your toes are a little cold in the morning and you put your foot in here, it feels really good. So it's not just insulated, but it has that little fur lining to help with insulation as well. Down to the midsole, you have Salomon's Energy Cell midsole, and they put that in a lot of their running shoes. So this type of midsole is gonna help with hiking and longer days where it makes you feel a bit more agile than just some big hunk of rubber, which a lot of like hunting boots or normal cold weather boots have. So this is going to feel more like a running shoe or a quick hiker, which is what I wanted. I like that feeling. I like having a little bit less underneath my foot, but more response. And I think this does a really good job with that. You do have a gusseted tongue as well here. Helps from keeping helps keep debris out there. And the tongue is really, honestly, the tongue is one of the biggest features on this guy that I've noticed so far. When I'm lacing this up, the tongue is super padded and does a really good job at not letting any air or debris in that I have found. Very soft tongue. And then the lacing system, we'll talk about the lacing system quick. There is no Salomon like quick lace system on these. It is just going to be their normal laces, normal tennis shoe laces. And then you do have eyelets here, reinforced eyelets, which do a really good job. I have no complaints at all. I can cinch these down super tight, get a good tie on them, and that's a very important part of a boot, is that lacing system and making sure you can get that tight and it stays tight without any kind of slippage, especially on a winter boot. You do have a protective toe cap on the boot as well, which is great to see on not only a winter boot, but any kind of hiker or trail runner. Keep your toes safe. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's going to be pretty much all the features. You do have a pull tab here. I love pull tabs. They do a good job. It's not crazy. It's not sticking out too far. But yeah, I mean, overall, this is an awesome looking boot. As you guys can see, the outsole is amazing. Let it focus. I mean, look at that. And I've been using this, as I said, for about a month, and it looks brand new. Got a good Energy Cell midsole. You've got protective, really well padded along the ankle here. You have their SenseFit mold technology on the outside. I mean, honestly, it feels like their normal hiking boot, except almost in a lighter version, like the Ultra Mid X. I've had a pair of those and they were a little bit more bulky than this. So honestly, I'm very interested in the Outblast line, or very intrigued. Obviously, I have the winter version. I might even get the normal version, see how those do as well. But when it's a little bit cold, I honestly want to throw these right on because they do such a good job. And they look good as well. I know I've said that like 10 times, but that's a big factor for me when I'm using these in the winter in Colorado. It's not just cutting down trees and hunting up here. It's going to breweries and doing all that fun stupid shit. And I want a boot that looks good. So yeah, honestly, I love this boot. I think as long as it keeps its durability, which I know some of the newer Salomons have been kind of getting hit hard on their reviews. So we'll just have to see, the fancier and the lighter weight that these shoes get, sometimes they lack durability, but not that I can see so far, so that's good. So we'll do a full follow-up review. Yeah, stay tuned for that. But if you guys like this kind of content, we are super close to 1,000 subscribers, and that would be amazing to hit. I think we're at like 944 or something like that. We're going up every day, which is awesome, and I'm trying to be way more consistent with my videos just so I can maybe try to do this full time. But if you guys like this content, hiking, backpacking, hunting, fishing, outdoor stuff, go give me a follow. I try to use the best equipment I can and let you guys know before you buy it what's worth it. For now, I'm gonna get all packed up and get ready to head back to Colorado, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks and have a good day.